Alright guys, hi, hello. This is no longer the Zotac Cup, but an awesome replay sent in. We have not seen this yet, so we don't know how this goes, but I'm very excited to find out because this barcode you see in the lower right corner of the map is your red Zerg player, Golden.
Yes, he is. And his opponent, of similar race but of a different color, the blue in the upper left of Belshir Vestige, it is Zervas.
Yeah, his name is Fabio, so that's why his name is Fab on the replay, just so you guys know. Those damn Europeans and their sexy names.
So sexy. How can you even go against this? So Fabio's good looks probably going to be bringing him a long way in this game, I believe.
Well, let's hope that happens because Golden is a really scary player to come up against, and especially when it's a ZVZ, a mirror match. I mean, in most mirror matches, you know, I feel units are more important, if that makes sense. Like in a Protoss versus Protoss, you lose a stalker, it can really hurt you early on. But like in ZVZ, you've got those nice little banelings in the early game to make up for any mistakes.
Yeah, it's like it's not over until it's over. All it takes is one good baneling hit to completely bounce the game in a different direction. Golden is a really cool guy. I casted him a little while ago for MLG. It was a lot of fun. He was kind of playing against kind of a no-name player. Just came into the open bracket, played a pretty good game, but Golden was well, obviously did very well against him and danced some lings at the end, all in good fun. So I'm very happy with Golden. I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about ZVZ as well, I think a lot of people at this point, everyone's got their special taste. Some people love ZVZ, some people hate ZVZ. I personally like it a lot. Whether it's the Roach Wars, whether it's the Mutalisk Wars, at any stage of the game for HOTS, ZVZ's always been very interesting to me because it is so much now more about positioning than it ever was before. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the strategies have not changed from Wings of Liberty. There's not been that big, crazy, like, Tier 1 Burrow. Yeah, big meta game changer, Blizzard. But I mean, like, positioning, top of the ramp, concaves, fungals, non-fungals. I mean, there's a lot of little tiny things that really can crack the difference of a defense. And a lot of the time, you're going to be engaging your opponent with even forces. So there's not even really a distinct advantage most of the time.
Yeah, and aside from, you know, the Tier 1 Burrow not changing anything, the change that Blizzard did make with the Spore Crawler, it helped deal with Mutas, but it didn't completely eliminate Mutaling. You see a lot of Mutaling, especially on Belshir Vestige, because it's very powerful. So I'm glad that we do have these variety of strategies, and I agree. ZVZ, some people hate it, but I absolutely don't. I think it could be a very fun matchup.
Well, I gotta tell you, like, regardless of where the mid game goes for this, I always, like, in my heart, I've got my fingers crossed, silently cheering for that Baneling Zergling aggression. Not necessarily anything like a crazy all-in, but though you really get a feel for how good someone's control is and how cool they can keep under pressure when they're dancing Banelings around with Zerglings.
Like, I don't play Zerg, I'm D. It's pretty obvious how I cannot handle that pressure. My Zergling Baneling control is god-awful. We're going to see a couple lings in here. Pick off the drone, maybe two
actually
drones here.
Two. Nice. Oh, nice build cancel, though, out of Golden there at the very last second. Oh, he's going to go back, though. He's not done. He wants blood. Oh. And he just barely doesn't get it. That's sick regen, man.
Yeah, man. It's a pretty imba. These guys chatting it up. It's all about that micro, man. Even when it's two lings on two lings, it gets serious up in the beginning of ZVZ, man.
It really does. And I mean, these two lings now for Golden probably going to come across the field and try and pay Zervas back for that drone that he claimed. But of course, there's a queen here ready to defend. Man, queens,
yeah, that'll be the main difference.
Queens are so deceptively scary. You're like, oh yeah, they got low damage, I messed over their attacks, not a big deal. But man, they can take on hordes of Zerglings if handled correctly.
Yeah, they just refuse to die. They're one of those units that don't take bonus damage from anything except for, I guess, an Archon.
Or Snipe, let's not forget Snipe.
And Snipe. I haven't seen a Queen sniped in a while. It's like no more assassinations.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any stage of the game for Wings of Liberty anywhere in the metagame where it was like, all right, Ghost counter Queens, let's go. Like, get those snipes on the field, folks. Like, I would love to go through actually the records and find out if that was actually like a game-changing moment where like a Queen was sniped so like couldn't transfuse the Ultralisk or something.
Just like the clutchest snipe in the world, just full-on assassination moment. Because like when Broodlords were big in Wings of Liberty, people would always bring like 6 Queens with them in ZVT. So, but usually people opted for the EMPs or just to snipe the Broodlords outright. Yeah. So, it's a rare occurrence, but a cool one.
Man, I remember like that's when I first started getting into StarCraft, right? Like it was when the snipe nerf came and everyone was so upset. And I didn't understand at the time why it was such a big deal. Then I started playing StarCraft and I understood.
It's like, how do I kill these freaking Broodlords, man, when my snipes do 25 damage now? They're just tickling them.
Well, as much as I would love to gush about Terrans all day, I should probably get back into this. And I'll point out we got a third base coming out very much earlier for Zervas, along with the +1 weapon upgrades. And while the Roach Warren's coming up for, or actually is the Roach Warren, yeah, there is the main story. Oh no, not even. Golden has not got, wait, yeah, I'm so retarded reading the build order here. He does not have a Roach Warren on the way. So he's going to look to stick with Lings for this. And mid-game Lings, even with Banelings, it's very hard to contend with large numbers of Roaches. But if he can catch Zervas when there's only like that 8 or 10 on the field, you could totally swarm them very easily.
Yeah, exactly. And, with the late Roach Warren here, Golden needs to be aggressive. We're going to see a ton of Lings coming out here. So this is a good timing. +1 started a little bit late for it, but Speed's going to be finishing soon. And he's going +1/+1 into Zerglings, which means he's probably going to be transitioning into Mutalisks.
What's really nice to go hand in hand with this, Banelings, they're not exactly effective versus Roaches, but the splash damage still hits, and it definitely helps when you're trying to take on large amounts of them. So the Baneling nest on the field might not be very effective. In fact, we might not even see any Banelings made on the field aside from trying to snipe drones. But either way, Golden has got the tools to make this game work for him.
Yeah, and Golden's doing something interesting here. Actively spreading creep with 2 queens and a ZVZ forward. Not something I see a real lot, but I guess he plans to be very aggressive. All these Speedlings are going to come swarming out now with the +1 weapons soon to finish. And +1 Lings are, like you said, pretty good against small numbers of Roaches, which is why Zervas here is tucking those Roaches against the building, as we see in his natural.
Yeah, he's actually playing volleyball a bit with his Overlord. He's going to get these queens killed in churn.
Oh,
actually, not going for the queen. Initially, there we go. Goes back to it. Does snipe that off. Drone's now going to run into the mineral lines, but nice drone drilling. Roaches are surrounded, though, Word. This is, I don't know. It's kind of hard to call. There's a lot of Lings here, but there's also a lot of Roaches.
Yeah, if +1 were down for these Lings, this would be a very different story. But the Roaches are surviving. They are survivors. They survive nuclear bombs and whatnot. But the Lings also not going to be enough to take them down. So Golden going to lose a bit of steam. He did just finish his own Roach Warren, but he wants this +1/+1 to work for him. So he has 34 more Lings on the way.
Yeah, and that +1/+1, as you bring up, would have changed that battle. Look how many of these Roaches are in the red. And the scary thing is they're going to still be in the red for the next fight. There's no burrow to heal them up. And, of course, Zerg not afforded Medivacs. So these are going to remain weak and squishy for this next fight.
This is the last thing we need is Zerg. A burrowed Roach with a Medivac over it would probably just not die to anything.
Let me ask you this, Word. Have you ever played 2 vs 2s where you had one player go Medivacs and the other go Ultralisks?
I have not played that style. That sounds
Nothing
awfully
dies.
Brutal. Nothing dies. Oh, God. Why should you tell me about that?
Well, actually, I should say everything else dies.
Oh, there's
okay,
blood. It's
I
just
love
not the
this. Hang on, look at this. We've got 3 different Ling hit squads split up here. A nice hold position at the wall. Will keep with the Queen and the Spinecrawler. But if Golden had caught him out of position, if he had managed to run into the base, he actually still gets the Queen out of that, but not able to get into the mineral lines like he wanted to so desperately. And now Golden is slowly making that transition into his own Roaches, but having already invested into those melee upgrades, I don't know, he's going to have to keep utilizing Lings, or that's just a lot of gas wasted. He's going to be behind Zervas if he just goes straight Roach versus Roach.
Yeah, that's true. And he needs to use these Lings he has, keep them alive, and keep Zervas back, because once the Roaches come, it's going to be so hard to deal with them at home.
And I like how he circumvents the Roaches entirely. Golden across the map, but Zervas saying, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go full offensive as well. We'll see who does more damage. But the Lings are going to flood on back home with his own Roaches. Golden's going to hold this for a moment. He's got to really wait for those Lings to get here before he can take this engagement, though. This is really not going well for him initially, but here come the Lings. We'll see if they can clean this up or not. Transfuses are actually going down like crazy on top of the Roaches. But the numbers are dwindling.
+1 is really helping. These Roaches, though, they have +1/+1 too. The transfuses are going down like crazy. These Roaches refuse to die.
I know,
looks like
oh my
they are
God.
being chased out. Wow.
Like, that was, I wish, we could have played that in slow motion and count exactly how many transfuses that was, because look at the resources lost. I mean, really, Zervas should have cleaned, Zervas should have cleaned house there is what it boils down to, but was driven back, Golden held that very nicely. Now he's making the transition into Infestors. Fungal, while nice, does not do the damage it used to do, but it holds Roaches in position. It allows you to get that concave on them, and Roach fights are hilarious to watch when everything's colored green.
Yeah, and it's just a bad positioning situation for the non-fungally player. Look at the drone count, though. 69 to 52 in favor of Zervas. If he can sit back, defend Golden's push here, he's going to be in pretty good shape, and he's starting to mix Hydralisk in, which is very good versus just a pure Roach army.
Yeah, he's already got a magnificent supply lead, but Golden, once again, splitting his forces, wants to hit 2 locations at once. Hydralisk here should be able to drive this back with that Spinecrawler, though.
Yeah, just barely holding it on there. Always making sure to keep that front entrance tight, especially with someone who's been very active with the Lings. Last thing you need is that run by. These Roaches still going to sit in the lower right, though, possibly looking for a regroup, but the Infestor's going to be joining the party pretty soon.
You know, if Golden can just move up into the Roaches, if he can snipe off those Hydralisks immediately, he strips so much of the advantage away that Zervas is going to have, but Man, those +2 weapons, they're going to make such a big deal versus these roaches. It'll be 2-1 versus 1-1.
Yeah, that Hydralisk DPS is going to be serious business. Going to have the speed, too, pretty soon, so he can get that good concave. He can escape from roaches for at least a little while, and it looks like Zervas feeling strong enough to move out.
Hey, you know what's kind of cool here is the crazy spread that is coming out of Golden. Ooh, nice snipe on the hatchery, not even a cancel. But anyways, I was going to say the creep spread on Golden is going to allow the Hydros to not really need muscular augments when it comes to fighting.
That's true. They just get that creep bonus anyway, so it's interesting. I mean, he probably didn't expect his opponent. Oh, a few roaches running by here for Golden into the third. Going to try to kill some drones, make it not so much of a
look how many queens are here. Combined with these spine crawlers, he's definitely going to pick off a drone or two, but really not much damage getting done. Meanwhile, across the field, Zervas poking up a little bit, snipes off a couple of roaches, but really not too many.
Oh, look at that fungal on those roaches. They're taking some
man.
damage. Is Golden going to be able to engage? That was completely with fungal there. That didn't quite do it. Well, I guess 1 for 2 isn't too bad.
The fungal used to be so much better. You had the big bonus damage versus armor, but now it's so weak, man. It's only really good at holding your opponent in position.
Yeah, I was hoping he would go up there, pick off a few of those roaches at least, but didn't really take full advantage of that fungal. Luckily, he's got 12 more tries on these infestors. But Zervas is pushing up with an overseer, cleaning up this creep, which is kind of halfway beneficial to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Clean up the creeps kind of... I guess it strips the map vision, so that's one big thing to do. But Zervas actually going for a burrow behind this. He's going to look to heal up these roaches, but oh man, nice engage. Snipes off a cup. Oh, doesn't quite get that last infestor. Very low. Some roaches as well dancing around here in low health, but Hydras are spread out. Zervas perhaps spreading out a little too much. Comes around for that full surround though. And he's definitely got the concave he's looking for, Word.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better concave here. A lot of the Hydras and roaches kept out of the battle by the fungal, but the Hydras barely surviving. One more fungal goes down, going to take out a few of them.
What a sick fungal. Gets... What? They got way more Hydras than they should have. That was almost all of the Hydralists that went down there.
Clutch fungal. One of those beautiful fungals that you hear a lot about, but don't actually exist, except in this case.
Well, the best part was that was the last tick of the fungal too, but some of these Hydras are in some trouble. Zervas in full retreat at this point, trying to meet up with his reinforcements, but will the reinforcements be enough? Despite the concave he has, Golden's 2-1 is about to kick in. He'll be on even upgrades. Actually, not quite even. Zervas got that +2 armor, but yeah, really nice engagement. Once again, fungal's going down on top of everything. There's too many roaches here for Golden, and he's coming in from a side sweep with some Zerglings.
This is a pretty interesting here. It's like he keeps running into a concave, but the fungal stop it from being good concave, not bringing the Zerglings in, but it looks like he doesn't really need to.
You know, again, these upgrades really coming into heavy effect. That 2-2 versus 1-1. I mean, Zervas was heavily outnumbered, but he actually walks away fairly even. And once again, another fight going to come down here. Lots of action. This is why I love ZVZ. Once the ball gets rolling, it does not stop rolling.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is let your opponent get his fourth up. The Roach is going to start coming in here. The Hydra's dealing too much damage from the back, though. Really, his ranged attack here is fungals, and you can't count on that to kill these Hydras.
No, certainly not. But the fungals, of course, the great thing about it is it's free. I mean, this energy will eventually regenerate, and while you're kind of trading fungals for Hydralisks, I mean, Zervas is eventually going to keep falling little bits behind, and if all you need is that one good engagement where you suddenly have the good numbers.
Yeah, that can turn things around pretty quickly. It's so hard to engage in here for Golden. The concave is endless. The fungals are hitting a lot of units here, but there's not enough roaches left.
Yeah, and the Hydralists, man, they're very squishy. They're going to do a lot of damage. They will actually drive Golden back. That defender's advantage is raining and hard here as the reinforcing roaches come to the front lines to aid these Hydralists, chasing everything across the field. He really needs to lock this army in with the fungal so he can just keep walking away, but instead his own roaches now reinforcing the army, uses the fungal instead to lock the Hydras in position. But again, still retreating, still running away.
Yeah, I don't think he has a single fungal left on these infestors, at least not for a few moments. And now those Hydras and Roaches are going to be on creep. Once he can start getting on top of these infestors, they'll die very quickly. Golden has to pull back and just really play it close to home.
Yeah.
How many infestors are we seeing here? This is a lot. Jeez.
Yeah, both players going to have that infestor war coming up. I can't wait to not see infested Terrans. I just want to see a massive amount of fungals, like the whole army covered in green. But again, really good fungals coming out of Golden, I must say. But oh my god, there's the infested Terrans. A lot of them coming down. And Zervas making the intelligent choice of just walking away. You know, when
lose an infestor, ouch.
He will, but he's going to hold his base too, which is a really key thing. But man, I'm reminded of that really terrible joke for the Xbox 360 when you see the infested Terrans, just walk away. They'll die out. They're so slow that they time out, of course.
That's true, man. And they just brutally, depending on what graphics setting you have, they just shoot themselves in the head. Something I found out about recently. And
I didn't actually know that. That's cool.
When they expire, they just give up, man. I wouldn't want to be an Infested Terran either, honestly. I don't get upgrades anymore. It sucks.
Well, it looks like Golden gonna go for a bit of a base trade here. Try and go across field with his own roach damage again. I can't blame him. Look how big that supply deficit is, guys. And that's not just workers, that's workers and army supply. Golden is in a rough spot to say the least.
Yeah, he is going to be able to pick off this 4th base, and that's going to kind of put him on even footing, but it's going to depend when Zervas really decides to just go in for the kill, because 60 supply is hard to come back from. I don't care how good your fungals are.
Oh, and there's that burrow going to keep them alive a little bit longer. The Infestor hiding underneath the army, but a big fungal locks down Golden's roaches. He's going to barely get away with them, but GG is gone nonetheless.
That's what these fungals are good for, man. GG. Making your opponent, not so much the damage, just don't let them retreat, don't let them get a good position, and yeah, Golden was just cleaned up there. That was a lot of fun, though. Really back and forth. Like you said, the ball did not stop rolling in that ZVZ.
That's what I love. That's why I love ZVZ. Like, it's the same with PvP to some extent, too. Like, the setup is boring, but once you get that ball rolling, it's a lot of action. So, thanks, guys, for watching this. Not just this replay, but also the cast today. We're sorry it was cut short. Felt a little robbed from those finals, quite frankly, but happens from time to time. Either way, this was Clarity Gaming's board. Oops. Ooh, that's the Belsh intro. Nope. Let's not play that. There we go. Misclicking all over the place. But yeah, this was Rifkin Cast for most of this Clarity Gaming Word. Thank you for stepping in towards the end there. Kind of sucks we didn't get the finals we were hoping for, but nonetheless, it was a pleasure casting with you as short as it was.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for bringing me on. Of course, we didn't expect the walkover, but we got a couple games out of it. It was good, and I hope we work with you again in the future. It was a lot of fun.
Stumbling over your words, are we? All right, yeah, that's going to be it for the broadcast, guys. Thanks again. I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to end the day with a commercial, so if you guys want to watch that, it'd be very much appreciated. If you don't, that's cool. Take off. Go watch some WCS, whatever the hell else is going on. But for real, take care, everybody.